Discover the best in local business news with a subscription to the IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. For a limited time, try us out for just $1 a week for 8 weeks. Claim this limited time offer now at ibj.com/trial offer.
Kristen, Dane. Today's episode is brought to you by Indiana 529. It's Indiana's 529 education savings plan, offering a simple and tax-smart way to save for children's future education expenses. You can start an account for just $10. I've been contributing to one for 16 years now, and it adds up fast. You can start with just $10. And speaking of 10, if you go to myindiana529.com right now, you can do something quite special. You can register for a chance to win a $10,000 deposit into your account. $10,000.
Holy smokes.
By starting with $10, you have a chance. You don't even need to deposit to be eligible. So go do that. You will absolutely have a chance to also have a state income tax credit of 20% on your contributions, which is great. So do that. It's what I use. It's what I've used forever. And you can decide what is best for you. You can do it direct by yourself or through your advisor. So go do that now. myindiana529.com. Terms and conditions apply. So go there now. myindiana529.com to learn more. Hello, Dame.
Hello.
Hello, Kristen.
Hello.
What have I done to deserve all three of us on the show at the same time? Dame, what are you wearing here? Dame is looking for attention. He's flipped his hat around. Hold on. Let us just see it in real time.
No, it was. Did you see the comment? You'll like the comment.
Okay. Over the top two casting today. Don, what does it say?
Fry Ranch from Distillers. It's out in California.
Oh, I have poured that down my face. A delicious beverage. Jeremiah says all three hosts. I might take a picture. We're gonna miss this. Are there news? One of you guys leaving the show?
Well, one of us is temporarily.
And then it's 4.
Hey,
Kristen.
where's the theme song?
Oh yeah. Okay, I gotta remember it. Ding, 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 ding.
Maggie.
Is it something like that? Is that the theme song?
I think it was something like that.
Kristen, how you doing?
I'm good. I actually feel really, really good.
Wait a second. I'm looking at the time. Like literally 3 minutes ago, you may have indicated another thought.
Yeah, but that's okay. Here's the thing. You just take that with a grain of salt at this point. I am nearly 9 months pregnant. So it's like I'm as good as you can expect a 9-month pregnant woman to be. Like, I'm not going to feel 100.
Can I ask an appropriate pregnancy question?
Can you?
I know. Dame, why do you leave the screen?
Not to
trying
be
to get
like,
as far away from this as possible.
not to be like that person, because I do hate it when people do that. Like, can I go to the bathroom? I don't know. Can you? Like, but in this instance, really, like, can you? I don't know.
Am I capable of this?
I don't know.
Okay, I have a question for you, and it feels appropriate.
Dame is so scared right now.
Dame, you're not providing a lot of confidence to me right now. You're covering your mouth. You're leaning back. Your arms are crossed.
It feels safer this way.
Kristen, 40 weeks is a thing in the pregnancy world.
Correct.
I believe the gestation period of an African elephant is closer to 18 months.
It could be.
So my question is, can you imagine feeling this way for twice as long as you felt this way? That is an appropriate question.
Honestly, you guys, most of this like pregnancy hasn't really been her fault. Like, I've had really bad like sinus issues. That's not her fault. Like, that's what made me feel so bad for like a month. Like, I don't know. I mean, no, I can't imagine doubling the amount of time.
Yeah, that's how
But-
most, that's what I was just wondering. Dame, see, that was fine, wasn't it?
Sure.
Chris and Dame had his Super Bowl last weekend, the big car show that he bosses people around at, right, Dame?
Yeah, I made it through almost the entire parking session without yelling at a single person till like the last 5 minutes. But that's all right.
How close was Krav Maga to being displayed up in northern Indiana?
Not close at all. Yeah, the guy was inside of a car. I was definitely at a disadvantage versus a huge chunk of steel.
Great. Jobs report came out about 90 minutes ago. 22,000 jobs added in August. And we were looking for 75 to 79,000 jobs. So what's interesting is the market is up, or indicating that it will be up. Let's take a look. Let's go real time market update, Dame, on the show. It's up. Why? Because now it feels certain that there will be an interest rate decrease on the 15th of the month. Funny. It's so funny how all this works.
Economics is fun.
Kristen, I know you follow the Fed, incredibly closely. I'm wondering, what % chance do you give it to a 1/4 point increase?
An increase?
Pardon me, decrease. That's
I was like,
part of the distinction. I was still thinking about the African elephant gestation period. Sorry.
I don't know. Isn't Jerome Powell like under hot water? Maybe he's trying to save his job.
Fair. So, Dame, do you have a number?
80%.
Yeah, I was going to say 90, but 80 seems like a more prudent way to go. So we're going to see 1/4 point decrease. For me, one of the questions is, it feels already priced into the market. So I don't think we're going to see like a massive pop in the market, which we usually do when the Fed lowers interest rates.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big nothing burger. The question then becomes, do they do it again before the end of the year?
I think they do.
I do too.
I think they do. Today's show is about my middle name, red flags. Financial red flags you might get away with here on the show today. How's that feeling? Feeling pretty good?
Yeah. Sorry, I was somebody asked if Vera Bradley was up. I had to go take a quick peek and see if it was up or not. And well, not so much.
Dame, here's the thing. I was shopping on Labor Day with my family at a local mall. Kristen, have you heard of a mall?
I have heard of them, yes.
There's a brand new Vera Bradley store at that mall. Brand new. Mm-hmm. And the stuff looks fine. Who am I to say? If I say it's good, then people freak out. If I say it's bad, they do as well. It looked great. Whatever. And then and my wife said, "Wow, they must be doing great." And I said, "Have you talked to Uncle Dame recently?" Because they aren't. What are they down? What are they down right now?
It was just the today number that I was looking at. It was a wonderful start. Year to date, it looks like nobody knows. This one doesn't give me the percentage, so that was fun.
All right. You know what? I got you. We can't live in this moment and then die in this moment. We must get there. Year to date change minus 43%. I said 84% at the mall the other day, so I apologize for doing that.
Thanks to everybody involved. We all appreciate your desire for accuracy.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Let's do a show. Here we go. Dame, are you feeling the idea that the entire office fridge is stocked with Miguel's? Miguel's are back in the Your Moneyline building. Unfortunately, based on the amount of pre-workout I drink on a daily basis, if I were to drink a Miguel, my heart would explode. So I am never going to have one again.
As you know, I don't dabble in things like Miguel. So I was really just hoping it was going to find its way into a cup, a vessel, something that might find its way to your face.
Okay. Excellent. 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com. And here's what happens. We will potentially read your question on the air and then do our best to spend the entire show illuminating you with facts. Kristen Elanius is here.
Hello.
Damian Dunn is here.
Good day.
Kristen, in pop culture today, people love to talk about red flags and beige flags and yellow flags. And I don't know. When Dame?
I just heard the beige flag thing for the first time today.
When? With who?
Like 30 minutes before we fired this thing up.
With who?
It was on a social media thing. It was
Kylie Kelsey?
No.
Oh, she talked about it in her show earlier this week.
Pete, Kristen, help a brother out. What's a beige flag?
Millennial?
I think that it's like not quite a red flag, but it's still like not good.
Yeah, it would be a yellow.
I don't know. I don't use the term.
Huh. Okay. Thanks.
I will say in corporate speak around here sometimes you hear red flags or people are throwing up flags. So I can flag that. And there's a lot of flags. I'm like, when did we become so flag centric? You know what I mean?
It's a great question.
Anywho, radio show. So we're going to talk about red flags that either you should pay attention to in your financial life or you're paying attention to them, but they'll probably be okay in isolation. So that is what we're doing today. Not every red flag is a deal breaker. Some are, some aren't. And we're going to try to make that distinction. Kristen, let's start there. What feels like a red flag to you? But then if with further examination, you're like, hey, it'll probably be fine. You need to calm down.
This is going to feel really controversial. I feel like you guys are going to get me until I explain this, which is are all instances of buy now, pay later a red flag?
Oh, Lord. What have we done?
Coming out of the gate on fire, I see.
What are you doing?
You said the first segment has to be the media segment, so this is where we are.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to have to go have a Miguel. Go ahead.
Oh, my. I think you need a downer, not an upper after that. Yeah. But so... For example, let's say you guys, we've talked several times on this show about the idea of layaway. Layaway was so great. You had to make your payments before you could do the thing or have the thing. What if you use buy now, pay later for future purchases or events, but you buy them today? I don't know if you guys know this, but Taylor Swift has a new album coming out in a month from today, 4 weeks rather. If she had another tour and you bought your tickets with a buy now, pay later service, you're not going to that concert tomorrow. Is that not modern layaway?
My head is spinning. I feel like there's an obvious answer, but I feel like I'm also missing something. Dame, you're going to have to help.
I guess I wasn't aware that you could make a transaction like that to where you didn't receive what you were purchasing and then making the installment payments for something later.
Well, you're not. You are getting the ticket. It's going to be on your Ticketmaster or whatever, but you don't actually get to enjoy the experience.
But if I may, how many payments is buy now, pay later broken into? 4 usually?
I think it's usually 4.
So this only works if you buy your ticket 4 months out from the show.
Well, or more.
Sure.
And in most cases, that's going to happen. I'm saying in those instances, is it the worst thing? You're not buy now, pay. You're not using Afterpay for your DoorDash. This is an event in the future. And you might not have known that it was coming up. Maybe someone didn't have the opportunity to save for it.
Okay, I think I can be convinced that this might be a reasonable use of buy now, pay later.
The concert, the event 4 months or beyond out.
The concept of paying for something over a few months without I don't even know how you phrase that. Because you're receiving, like you said, you're receiving the ticket, but you're not getting the experience or whatever. How many people do you think are doing this?
Well, I'm not sure that they are, but I'm saying, could I make this argument?
Yeah, it's technically layaway at that point.
See?
I don't know. It's just such a slippery slope for me.
Yeah,
It's such an isolated use case,
Well, and we said, like, if these are individual red flags, are they really the end of the world? If this is someone's use case for buy now, pay later, is, hey, this artist that I've wanted to see announce their tour, because this happens a lot. And then it's like, well, I wasn't saving for this. I didn't know this was going to happen. Or it was dynamic pricing with Ticketmaster. I had no idea my ticket was going to be $350. I was planning for $150. Like, I don't hate it.
Okay, so another example that's going to hit home because it's actually going to happen here soon. The new iPhone is going to get announced next week. If you could reserve your iPhone and then pay for it over 4 payments and then get the iPhone, you're saying that it would be a reasonable use of buy now, pay later.
I don't hate it.
Okay, I know that's an example, and apparently I'm getting way in the weeds today. But most iPhones now are spread out over 36 payments.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. But those 36 payments are after the fact. You got the phone and then you pay for it for 3 years versus, is it better to do buy now, pay later on the front end and own your phone outright, Pete?
I just feel like the use case is just like we're threading a needle here.
He's struggling because he sees the logic but he can't bring himself to say, yeah.
It just feels like such a hypothetical, but also to be fair to full disclosure, I'm not going to a concert. You understand the amount of traffic,
parking,
and people involved?
I know.
Forget about it.
So how about if we do a different one? How about if we
that would be helpful because this one's a no for me, dog.
Use a credit card for all of your purchases, all of your spending.
Not a red flag as long as you pay it off.
Well, I mean that's a slippery slope, though, isn't it?
No, just pay it off.
I don't think behavioral finance would agree with that statement.
Oh my God, this show is off the rails today.
You spend more. It's true psychologically that you spend more. So it's like, again, in isolation, is that the worst thing? No. And the 3 of us on this show, I'm sure, are guilty of it. I'm sure that all 3 of us use a credit card like a debit card. But does that mean that you're buying more? Psychologically, probably.
All right. Man, you guys already, I'm in a tizzy today because, Kristen, you're 1,000% right. A person will spend, I think, up to 20% more when they use a credit card for purchases. So that in itself is behaviorally treacherous. And then beyond that, it's okay if you write the blank check being you will go zero balance at the end of the month. Like it, that is a tricky one. All right. So I the second one, I'm good with. The buy now, pay later. I still feel like it is a bad idea. Other than Jeremiah says in the comments, airlines and cruise lines are doing the same thing with buy now, pay later. I think that goes into your Taylor Swift category, Kristen.
It sure does. Yeah, you're not going on the cruise tomorrow.
As long as it's going on a cruise, the amount of people, and then
no parking.
But listen to this: the traffic that it takes to get through the buffet. Not interested. All right, so let's do this. We have a few more common red flags that we may or may not argue about, and it feels like we're going to argue about them. All of that is coming up next. We're on the Pete the Planner Show. Red flags that may or may not really be red flags. Or are you getting away with them? All of that is next, right after this. I don't know. How are buy now, pay later stocks doing right now?
Probably really well.
Probably.
All right. So we're going to Klarna. Okay, going to Klarna.
That's just fun to say.
It is fun to say. I somehow spelled it wrong. Klarna. What is it?
Klarna, right?
Boy, looking stuff up on the internet. What's another one?
Afterpay, but I don't know if that's its own
Affirm.
No, it's
firm. That's what it is.
firm. I just feel like it's a bad idea. I
Up
feel like
42% for the year for Affirm.
You say 42?
Mm-hmm. Should have picked that for my
Oh,
stock.
firm is up 50% on the year. I'll say this. That's how I know the economy's in trouble. That's how I know. This portion of the program is brought to you by Indiana 529. If you go to myindiana529.com right now to open an education savings plan for your little one or someone else's little one. Let's say you got a grandchild and you're like, Billy's no good at soccer. I better start putting money away for college. You can do it with as little as $10. And if you go to myindiana529.com right now, guess what can happen? You can register for a chance to win a $10,000 deposit into your account. Of course, terms and conditions apply. Wouldn't that be an interesting thing to unwrap? Hey, I was listening to the Pete the Planner show. I went and registered for this sweepstakes. Everyone loves a sweepstakes. Found out about it a few weeks later. I got this gift for you for Christmas. You opened it up, and it's your statement, and there's $10,000 more in than we thought. That is quite the holiday for you. So go to myindiana529.com right now. And by the way, the tax credit is there for you if you're an Indiana resident thereafter. myindiana529.com. Dame, this program is also brought to you by Herculean Meal Prep. Kristen, I was driving home from Chicago yesterday, and on the way home from Chicago, I passed 10,000 restaurants. I was hungry. I was in a hurry, and I needed to eat. And I said, no. I got all the way to the office so I could reach into our freezer, and in 3 minutes and 45 seconds, I had a delicious, nutritious meal that didn't break the bank. So please go to HerculeanMealPrep.com. They are frozen meals that can arrive at your door and can change your life. To be very honest and frank with you all, they've changed my life. There's a Hawaiian Burger Bowl coming out next week. Think Loco Moco for those that are of the Hawaiian sensibility. Little pineapple, little lean ground beef, which is my nickname, and then a little teriyaki sauce, Kristen. So check out the Hawaiian Burger Bowl starting next week at HerculeanMealPrep.com. Kristen, do you think we're going to argue the next segment?
Not as much as we probably would have argued about the buy now, pay later. I think the rest of the ones that I have up here are pretty reasonable.
Well, do we just want to abandon the list that we have in the show notes and let Kristen just rip from the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kristen's running the show?
I think so.
Yes.
So you want to bring us back?
No.
Kristen, if I disagree with you, how hot can I go today? Like, what are my limits with you?
You've met other pregnant women. I can't guarantee that I won't go to rage or crying or both. So just do with that what you will.
Just get mad at me, Pete.
Kristen, do I have permission to sidebar with Dame real quick?
Are you going to be mean to me?
No, I'm not. Hey, Dame.
Yeah.
If I disagree, should I really disagree? Because I'm feeling like it could be really bad if I get a cry today. Like
we want to keep that off the table. I think if you're going to disagree, you're going to do it very politely. You can be firm, but like I said, redirect towards me. If I need to step in and say, hey, this was my idea, try and take that offer, I'll do that.
I feel like my current calibration for thinking I'm not hurting someone's feelings is probably a little bit off. So I'm going to probably tread cautiously here.
I think that's a wise move.
Kristen, we're back. As you know, they always kill the mic during sidebars at trials.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we ready to do this segment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's red flags. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show throw your hands in the air, wave them like you don't care, and wave that red flag of financial mistakes. Kristen and Dame and I are here, and we're talking about common financial red flags. And if you don't know, the Youngs talk about waving red flags. It means something's wrong. Uh-oh, what do we do? And sometimes it is a true sign that something's seriously wrong, or it's just like, it's not as bad as you think. Now we have some examples with nuance. Common red flags that can slide if managed. Is that the right way to say it, Kristen?
Sure. That's how you said it.
Take it away.
Okay. First one is you have a side hustle, but you cannot clearly and quickly articulate how it improves your financial life.
Okay. So this is one. Okay. So let me make sure I'm understanding this. This is a true red flag.
Yes.
100% agree. Look at us. Kumbaya. Oh, yeah. Kristen, this is an excellent one and a sneaky one, and one that people don't. They just think putting more money into the pot is a good thing. And even saying that out loud, it makes it think, well, that's obviously a good thing. It ain't a good thing if you don't know what it's actually doing for you.
100%. And it's like you hear people say like, well, I work 2 jobs, and it's not for me to push someone in those moments to ask them why, but I know as a practitioner, Dame and I see this all the time. It's like, well, I have a side hustle because I need more money. And it's like, well, what is that? What's the goal? Are you paying something off? Is this career related? Like maybe there's career motivations behind it. But if you can't tell me right now why you have a side hustle and what it does for you, red flag.
Damon, what do you think?
I think she's exactly right. And I guess that means you're exactly right too, because you agreed with her. If you can't clearly, like she said, clearly articulate what that extra time and effort you are putting in towards generating some income is doing for you, why are you doing it? You can't keep doing that second job, because if you're not careful, the only thing it's going to do is inflate your lifestyle. And then you get caught in a serious catch-22. Now you can't quit that job. You have to do it or make some really, really tough decisions. So you have to know what that extra income is going for. And if you do, then great, good on you. Make sure you hit that financial goal and give yourself the opportunity to exit stage left or further another financial goal if you want to continue that extracurricular working.
I would like to make a very dramatic statement.
Please.
I believe this is one of the sneakiest, biggest mistakes people make.
Oh,
like top sneakiest mistake, top 3 mistakes.
Because you feel good, you're out doing something, you feel like you're doing all the right things. I mean, you're crushing it, you're hustling, you're making that extra money, and before you know it, you're dependent on it.
Well said. Your lifestyle increases, and then you're trapped.
Yeah.
You're trapped because sometimes those lifestyle increases actually not only create habits, but worse, they create obligations. Kristen's the best show we've ever done. That's a good one, Kristen. What else you got? Other red flags?
I really appreciate the agreeableness here.
Oh, yeah.
If you have this one, there's nuance with all of these, of course, but if you're carrying student loans that are over 10 years old.
Yeah. There's nuance on this one, right?
Of course, on all of them. It could be you're playing the interest rate game. Maybe you went to school. If you went to school in like the early teens to mid-teens, if that's when you funded your college education, your interest rates are so favorable. They're probably in like the 3 max 5% range. So I totally can see the case of I'm paying minimum monthly payments. I'm paying the least amount that they'll let me because I have other goals that I want to achieve. But man, is that slope slippery.
Can I get some clarification?
Yeah.
If I'm pursuing like a higher level degree, master's, PhD, but it's very possible that my undergrad loans are going to be, that clock's ticking while I'm still doing that further education. Do those count in your red flagdom here, or is it basically until you finish, from the time you finish your education, that's when you start that clock?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of nuance there. So, like, I'll use my own example or my own education as an example is I cash flowed my master's degree, but put a pin essentially in my undergraduate student loans. So my undergraduate loans will last longer than 10 years, but only because I didn't take out new debt to fund the remainder of my education. So you have to know what that timeline looks like for you and if there were very intentional reasons. But if you're just carrying them without being able to say, just like in our last example, if you can't clearly articulate why they're older than 10 years old, red flag.
Here's one for you. Kristen, help me. I need help.
Okay.
If someone has student loans that are 10 years old, they're currently working, and they aren't making payments, that's a massive red flag. Like that is but my question to you is, how often do you think that's a situation in which a person doesn't believe it to be a red flag?
I think that 75% of the time, someone not making a payment does not think it's that big of a deal.
Wow, that's aggressive, Dame. That's interesting.
I disagree. I think they think it's a big deal, but they won't admit it. They're reluctant to admit it because they see so many other people angry for various reasons about the student loan situation. Whether they, like I'm not paying the government back for this, and they're overcharging me, and it's a scam, and I don't make enough. Whatever the reason is, some of them may be entirely valid, but it's just so easy to find some comfort in your red flag situation because nobody else thinks it's a big deal either, or they say it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think I would say it's a tolerance issue.
Sure.
You've become too tolerant of the deficiency, and then your tolerance takes over in a bad way. All right, Chris, this is good. We're tracking. Can we keep it on track?
This one's kind of interesting, and full disclosure, I'm throwing my person under the bus so hard right now. So I'm going to need the two of you to agree with me, which is that mental accounting with your like personal accounts payable and receivable is a red flag.
Say more.
Okay. So let's say we don't all work in the same office. So this isn't the easiest example, but like, let's say we did, and Dame and I just have this like loose ledger of like who owes who for lunch, or he was like, hey, I'm coming into the office to get and I'm getting breakfast. I say, perfect, pick me up something. And then we have this very like loose relationship with like Dame owes me $20, I owe Dame $30. No one really knows who owes what. I think it's a red flag.
Hashtag free Tom.
Pete, do we need another sidebar?
Sidebar.
I don't know about you, but I kind of do this a lot with my friends. I buy stuff, or they pay stuff for me, and we just know each other's gonna get it at some point, and we don't care. We don't keep a running tab. Do you do that?
So I do a similar thing with my friends. Like whoever's standing at the bar, it's like, hey, I got drinks, and it's not like it's like even they don't even say I got the next round, because you just assume at some point in time they're going to get it. So, Kristen, we just finished a sidebar. Dame and I were talking, and we believe that this is common amongst male types. And so, what do you think?
It's when the amounts are small, it's okay, but he and his friends do this in much larger contexts. Like, and that's where I'm like, it creates opportunities for financial conflict. I don't like it. I don't like to have an outstanding balance sheet. I'm going to send you a Venmo.
Hashtag free Tom is trending on the Pizza Planner Show. Coming up after the break, more red flags. Are they red flags, or are they just what men do? Hashtag free Tom. I'm Pete the Planner.
I don't really see the big deal.
He and his brothers are really, really bad about it. But you guys, the problem there is that like it's big purchases. Like if somebody goes to the sale barn and buys four
exactly what I was going to say.
that's a problem. That doesn't.
These are my uncles you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Can I?
So you're doing this with cattle?
Yes. And it'll be like, then it turns into, well, then I bought hay. And I'm like, hay is not the same as buying a steer. And it's like, yeah, but then he put tires on the trailer. So, and then it goes over months and months. And there's just this like ledger that's like maybe sort of accurate. But I think the reason that it's a red flag for me is like, then you don't know what you have in your business venture. It's not even necessarily about owing money to each other. It's how much did it cost me to feed out this animal truly?
Dame, I'm over my skis here. We are in a sale barn is something I've heard, but I've come to learn with my relationship with Kristen is more of a thing that I knew. Mm-hmm. Apparently you got to feed animals hay. That's new, right?
It's not new, actually.
Yeah, sure. Wow. That is a lot. If I can, I mean, that's not, Jack Daniel's single barrel neat. Like that is an actual barrel. Like that's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot.
My joke was going to be something like, a lot of stuff happens, and before you know it, Tom owes somebody a goat, or, something like that. And
truly.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, maybe a good point. The good news is all the radio on the air people are going to miss all of that because this is the break. Do you still have a list? We can keep going on these?
Yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to switch to Damien, like saying what you should do.
Nah,
let's keep this is much better.
Let's keep disagreeing. So much better. You guys, I have a feeling that today's biggest waste of money is an all-timer today.
Dame wasn't here for my terrible guess last week.
I don't remember what happened. Who was it?
I was off by like literally, I think it was like 5 cents.
Yeah, she was off 5 cents last week.
Wow.
I guessed like 300 and it was like 299.95 or something dumb.
Well, you were over, so you lost.
Indeed.
Guys, can I paint a picture for you as to a moment I had this week that I don't know why I feel the need to share this with you and thousands and thousands of people. So on Wednesday night, I drove to Chicago because I had a meeting on Thursday morning, and I was like, I don't want to drive up Thursday morning and deal with traffic. I'm going to go up Thursday night. Well, Wednesday morning, prior to driving up, I had a really hearty workout in which I probably pushed myself too far. And I've got like this inflamed elbow situation that's no fun and it's really painful. One might call it tennis elbow, but since I don't play tennis nor pickleball, it's more of like a badminton situation. And so I'm at my hotel. I'm struggling to fall asleep because it hurts so bad. But I fall asleep. Then I wake up at 1:30. And Dame, I was so tired. It was one of those times, I don't know if you've been there as a business traveler ever, but you wake up and you have literally no idea where you are, who you are, why you are. So that happened. I gathered myself. My arm hurts. And I'm like, all right. I leave my hotel room with my key and the ice bucket, shirtless, shoeless, at 2 a.m.-ish. Walk down, fill up the ice bucket, and then strangely dip the tip of my elbow into the ice bucket in bed for a while till I fell asleep and then woke up in a puddle of ice cold water, not knowing who and when and why I was. No alcohol was involved, unfortunately. And that's how Thursday started for me.
Fun. I mean, that's just part of getting old, I think, Pete.
If you've ever wondered what happens at a random Courtyard by Marriott in Arlington Heights, Illinois, at 2 a.m., it's a shirtless man, shoeless, with the wherewithal to take his hotel key, fetching ice for an elbow injury.
Can I ask you a question that you certainly don't have to answer?
Yes.
A year ago, would you have walked down that hallway shirtless at 2 a.m.?
That's a great question, actually. I'm definitely walking around a little bit more shirtless these days, for sure. I mean,
for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not quite yet mow the grass shirtless.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you live in suburbia. I feel like, is that normal? Do people?
Some of the fit dads do. My neighbor across the street, he's ripped. I love watching him mow. Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. Red flag. If you're from Central Indiana, you hear red flag, you think an IndyCar race is being stopped for some reason. But in pop culture today, when someone says, oh, that's a red flag, it's just this massive warning sign that something is terribly wrong. And so we're talking about those things in your financial life. Kristen has this pithy list, and Dame and I are arguing with her. So, Kristen, what's next up on the list?
You can't tell me what it takes to run your household financially within 30 to 60 seconds. Either that information is in your noodle or you don't have a way to access it really quickly. And that is both what you actually spend on the regular and what is the bare minimum for your household.
Boy,
I feel like I'm splitting hairs here, but I'd say yellow flag for what it's worth. But I'm tracking with you.
Yellow.
It's yeah.
I know what it means, but how is not knowing what it costs for you to live not a red flag?
I don't know my blood pressure right now, and I probably couldn't access it in 30 to 60 seconds, but it's under control.
Different, I feel.
Maybe it's just a fun metaphor. Dame.
if I'm not overspending my income every month, but I spend and I'm hitting all my financial goals,
How do you know that you're hitting your financial goals if you don't know what it costs to live?
because
They're automated and they happen before the bills.
yeah. But she's going to say, how much do you, like, if you're saving for retirement, are you saving enough if you don't know how much it costs to live? That's where she's going to go with that.
I think she's right.
I am.
I think we're just arguing at this point.
I think I am right. You should know. And of course it fluctuates, and sometimes you might have these things that come in that you weren't expecting, but like as a general rule, you should be able to say it costs $5,000 from my household. It costs $3,000 from my, whatever the number is. I don't care. You should be able to tell me that.
It would take me 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And I would need pre-Wednesday afternoon math.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Do your guys' math, does it run out later in the week?
Yes.
Everything gets slower later in the week.
Wednesday, 2 p.m., post Wednesday, 2 p.m. math for me is like smoke starts coming out of my ears. Pre that time, I'm like, beautiful mind. It works. Kristen, what's next?
If you can't tell me reasonably whether you think you are at this time of year, okay, so there's context here because this is September. If you can't tell me kind of where you're tracking when it comes to your taxes, like refund, balance owed, unless you have a really complicated situation. I know people are business owners and there are things that get thrown in the mix, but for the everyman, if you can't tell me kind of what you're tracking toward, I think that's a red flag. It's an even bigger red flag if you get to tax season and you can't tell me and there's a surprise, like you get a lot of money back or you owe a lot of money. That's an even bigger red flag.
Dame?
I think that's just an issue that needs to be addressed. The average person who doesn't have a super complicated tax situation should be able to have this nailed down pretty darn consistently year after year after year after year. And there's not going to be a lot of, I'm going to get killed on taxes this year, or I'm going to get a huge refund, because it should all be handled pretty much through payroll deduction for the vast majority of people. So I would accept things are going to be fine because they consistently are from year to year and nothing serious has changed. Would that be an acceptable answer for you?
I think that's an acceptable answer, is like, this is status quo. But if you are getting, a large refund and you don't know why, or you suddenly owe a large balance and this was a surprise to you, I think that's a red flag. And I'm not saying I don't understand why. People are terrified of the IRS. They're terrified that they're going to mess up their returns so that as a result, they don't dig into how this actually works. And I have empathy for that, but I still think it's something that you need to learn.
So are you looking for something like, hypothetical, I know I sold a bunch of Bitcoin and made 20 grand profit, but I didn't mentally account for, or I haven't planned on the taxes that's going to generate at the end of the year.
I think that's a red flag.
And I think it's fine, but I'm going to get surprised when I file next spring.
Red flag.
Okay. I can get behind that.
What if you don't know? This is an aggressive one, and it's I'm throwing 85% of the entire population under the bus here.
Perfect.
If you are off track to retire successfully, you don't know what it will take you to get back on track.
Red flag.
Yeah, I'm 100% by that.
There's so many, like, we have a pretty savvy audience, both on the podcast and on the radio and on YouTube and on Twitch. And but I think some people are catching some shrapnel on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do. If you suspect you're behind, first of all, if you suspect you're behind but don't know you're behind, that's a red flag in and of itself. You gotta know, and it does. Go find a calculator online that does a quick and dirty calculation just to get you an idea if you're in the ballpark or not, or if you're getting closer. This would be another great conversation. How far out from retirement should you consider talking to a financial planner? That'd be another side discussion we could have. But you've got to be able to nail down what that target is, and ideally, you're going to give yourself plenty of time to course correct if you have to, because every year that goes by, you're just making this so much harder on yourself. Time is a superpower, and when it comes to retirement asset allocation.
I just realized that I'm going to write a column about this weekend, because I think I have a column due next week. Kristen, I'm going to oversimplify this in a terrible way. Are you ready?
Yes.
Dame's right. You go find a calculator, find what you would need to have set aside right now to accomplish your financial goals once you establish those. Then you determine how much more you would need to deposit each month right now in order to accomplish that. That is one of the most important things anyone can possibly do in their financial life, is simply know right now, this month, what would I need to do to close the gap? And then Dame, I'm not even saying they got to close the gap. I'm saying just the absolute chosen ignorance to not know that is crazy, because then the superpower of time works against you in a terrible way.
There are a growing number of people that I've talked to, Chris, and I would assume you're the same way, younger than you and I, Pete, that have readily confessed to me that they don't plan on the traditional retirement that you and I think about, or that our parents thought about. They're in the back of their mind, it's like, well, I'm just always gonna have to do something, part-time gig, something just to stay busy, make a little income. And I think that's how they let themselves off the hook for not knowing something like this, because they say, well, I'm never gonna stop working at this point, I'm never gonna have enough to retire, so I'll just do what I have to do to retire at that point. And they don't account for bodies breaking down and not being able to work at some point.
That's a coping mechanism, and it's also a red flag.
Coping's interesting. I mean, I'm not a psychologist. I barely am any psychologist of any type, if I'm not at all. Coping is one of those things that at times, Kristen, to your point, it's necessary to survive. It is also in itself a sign of massive distress.
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't mean we don't have empathy for those situations, but we have to figure out a way to work past them in order to lead financially healthy lives. And that's, whether that's a practitioner, whether that's an accountability partner and your friends, you have to find a way to move forward and to reduce the number of these red flags. Because I think the whole point of this today was like, one of these things alone may be okay, but when we start collecting them, your financial health is in jeopardy.
Coming up after the break, we've got the biggest waste of money of the week, and it is possible. I know Kristen was 5 cents off on her guess last week, and this coming week, there's no chance anyone gets remotely close to it, just so you know that. Then we're going to hit the news. Big news week. Let's see if Dame captured the essence of the world and its ethos. All of that is next, right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. Friends, I did something on the 3-day weekend a financial calculation that I've never done before for myself. And I was shocked by what I found. Okay. So I don't know if you've ever done this, Dame, because you and I know for sure have been talking people out of what I'm about to say for a long time.
Okay.
I took a number of assets, okay, whether they're hypothetical or real. And I said, okay, when I, like right now, okay, if I'm X years old and I got this much money and I will be dead by 94 years old, okay, whatever. And I want zero balance when I die. How much money can I take out per year from this amount of money?
Fly down the hill.
Dame, I was shocked by how much money it is.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've done calculations forever around here at 4%, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you, I might actually find the thread. I don't want to get into the numbers though, but it was substantial.
Yeah.
It was, I'm trying to get a percent of the total number. 8%. It was literally 8%.
Ooh. What were you figuring for your rate of return on
8%?
Okay.
Oh.
And it still spins it down, right? That's the other.
Right.
I did it via chat, and I said had to throw in like historical numbers and did a little Monte Carlo. It got really heated.
I feel like you need to play Ollie.
Oh. Bye.
This is for information purposes only. It's not the Swiss financial planning device. Consult a financial advisor.
Thank you. Don't do that, anybody. But it was an interesting calculation. It's scary. It was terrifying. But it was also so much money in relation to what I normally plan on having at retirement that it was like, there's a lot in between.
Sure. Have you read or listened to the book Die with Zero?
I've read excerpts of it, but I have not in totality.
I haven't either. Obviously, your exercise made me think of it, and it made me wonder if I shouldn't spend a little time and go through that book to learn about the rationale behind it.
The theory for me, at least within this, is that I would still take care of whatever interests I have as a living person as opposed to a dead person. You know what I mean? Like a charity or family or whatever.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Let's do in 3, 2. I'm not ready.
It's the best part of the show.
3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week, right here on the Pete the Planner Show, is the Okapa water bottle. Pick a category of product, and you can typically name a luxury option elevated above more utilitarian offerings. Okapa is out to be the high-end option amongst water bottles. It's made using medical-grade materials, including a Swiss-made spout crafted from Acrylamide TR90 thermoplastic, German borosilicate glass, an extruded, perforated, and anodized aluminum shell, and an opening mechanism built using surgical-grade Nitronic 60 stainless steel. The silicone shock absorption system keeps the glass carafe protected. 4 silicone seals prevent leaks and spills, and nearly all of the components are dishwasher safe for hassle-free cleaning. Available in 8 unique color combinations. I don't know if you friends know this, but we are amongst the hydration generation. Right now, as I sit and read this copy to you, I have got a beverage to stay super hydrated right now with truly the purpose of hydrating me, not enjoyment, not anything else, like to stay hydrated. This is what people care about. Kristen, how much does this water bottle cost?
I have no idea because you said we're not going to guess it. So there were a lot of words I didn't know how to pronounce and that you didn't know how to pronounce.
Oh, come on.
This is $150.
Okay, $150 American dollars. Dame.
Looks like there's a USB charger in the picture. That thing. I mean, it's crazy. But
I'm looking here
at the top, that top band, the circle, and then right to the
it's
right.
actually I just zoomed in on mine. It is a release mechanism for the lid to pop up, like a little latch. Good call though.
I mean, the medical grade was thrown in there. I mean, it just feels like it's going to be overpriced, and then times 2 at this point. So I'm going to go with $275.
$295. Dame, what is in the news this week?
Not even a congratulations on being within $20. I mean,
Kristen was within 5 cents last week, and I mocked her.
oh, well, never mind. I mean, you had told the whole world that there was a huge news week, lots of stories, and I'm going to ignore those and read one that I'm interested in. So, Powerball is kind of like beer pong, Pete. Sure, it generates buzz, but you'll probably regret playing when the ball stopped bouncing at the end of the night. That's this weekend's historic Powerball drawing is probably going to be no different. More than 162 million Powerball tickets were sold for the last drawing, according to the Multi-State Lottery Association, and Saturday's estimated $1.7 billion grand prize, the third biggest in U.S. lottery history, could draw in even more players, and that's no accident. Americans are more likely to play when the prize is big, duh. So when organizers made the game harder, or they made it harder to win, that way the pot keeps rolling over and growing. Here's the fun part. In 1987, the odds of winning a jackpot from Powerball predecessor Lotto America were around 1 in 19 million. Today, the odds of winning Powerball are about 1 in this.
1 billion.
10 times that.
292.2 million.
I was pretty close.
Sure. Meaning you're more likely to get killed by a vending machine or see the Jets win the Super Bowl this year. Still, people keep trying to beat the odds. Americans spent $103 billion on lottery tickets in 2023. So what if you win? This is important. I can't stress this enough. Okay.
Yep.
You're not going to win. That's it. Just in case, though, go with the lump sum option over annuity payments. Invest it. Not financial advice, just math. There you go.
We were watching a show on Netflix called Sirens. Have either of you seen this miniseries? It's like 5 episodes, little drama, Mrs. Planner and I. And the guy's a billionaire. The couple is a billionaire, and they're arguably deplorable folks. Then you start having the discussion, if we were billionaires, do you think character elements that exist deep into us become magnified to the point that we become terrible people too? And I'll speak for myself. Yeah, probably. That's where I got. What do you think, Kristen? Do you think that would come out somehow in you, whatever it might be?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think there's a reason why I remain humble financially. It's just best for everyone.
Dame, you're as down to earth of a person as I've literally ever met in my entire life. Do you think some weird character flaw would come out in you and it would magnify and you would become insufferable?
It'd be a challenge, honestly.
Yeah. It's a weird question to ask yourself, because at first, where it gets interesting, you just keep backing it down. If we had $20 million, would we be insufferable or whatever? And they're like, maybe not. And if we had 100 million, it'd be sort of, like, oh, you're doing dumb stuff real quick.
You'd be insufferable to my old friends.
Joke of the year 2025. There it is. Dane, what else is in the news?
Sometimes the best way to cash in on the AI boom isn't building a chatbot. It's having the right 2 letters in your web address. The tiny Caribbean island of Anguilla raked in nearly $39 million last year selling .ai internet domains, almost a quarter of its total government revenue. And that's because the island was randomly assigned .ai decades ago as its country code. Now with artificial intelligence surging, those 2 letters are worth a fortune. Startups and tech giants are snapping up .ai addresses. HubSpot's co-founder reportedly spent $700,000 on U.ai. Registrations have more than doubled in the past year to 850,000, up from fewer than 50,000 in 2020. And the jackpot is still growing for Anguilla. The island expects $49 million from .ai sales in 2025.
We've had to have discussed my dumb domain buying streak on this show before, have we not?
We've touched on it a few different times.
I think the dumbest domain I ever bought, I was trying to think of like a 401k management service that's sort of fun. And so I bought 401hey.com. I own 401hey.com. And then what I realized is, in trying to market it, you can't necessarily get someone to read it that way. Right. And then it's not as fun. It's just 401hey.com. Hmm. I was having a beer with our colleague Chad when I made that decision in real time.
I'm less surprised about it now. Yeah.
I feel like I remember you being really proud that you made that purchase.
I mean, there's a lot worse ones, I think. If I really had a memory of any sort, there's the worst ones. Dane, what else is in the news?
Speaking of beer, about $200 million. That's the valuation of the Kelsey Brothers Garage Beer in its first institutional round of fundraising, according to people familiar with the matter. The company, backed by the football stars Jason and Travis Swift, Kelsey, is bucking recent concerns about the beer's popularity. I asked you guys this question.
Yeah.
And nobody responded to it. So I'm going to ask you publicly and force you to respond to it, essentially.
Oh.
First.
If Taylor Swift and Travis Swift, Kelsey, decided to live stream their wedding, and maybe even like the week leading up to it with the different things they're doing to get ready for it, how much money would they make? 500 million? $1 billion? I mean, this could be ridiculous.
The problem is there is not the technological infrastructure for the amount of traffic that there would be, for one. And for two, the limit does not exist. Like, it would be unbelievable.
Hey, Kristen, if you could pay $100 to watch the week leading up to the wedding and the wedding, would you do it?
Yes.
I would say if they did this, the chances of a divorce are really high.
Mm-hmm.
But that just leads to another banger album for Taylor, and she makes billions more.
If that happened, I think I would actually go camping for a week to avoid all of it. Speaking of the outdoors, sending you good vibes, because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Beat the Planner, and this is the Beat the Planner show.
Dave, I didn't respond because I couldn't come up with a good answer, but like, it would be the most viewed event
by far
of all time,
worldwide. I mean, it would be ridiculous.
Can you help me with this for a second, Dame?
Yeah.
I mean, boy, you know, when I start doing this, we're in trouble. I literally don't care at all about any of that, and what I'm just saying, like, I don't care, and if someone else cares, that's fine. Does that make me a hater, technically, or like, because I'm just like, I don't care. Like, why would I care about that? Does that make me a hater?
I don't think so. I mean, you're not actively out there saying, this is dumb. You're just like, hey, good for you. If you're enjoying it, it's not hurting anybody. As long as you know how much it costs for you to retire, spend that $100 to watch the week-long festivities.
The line is this: when you share on Facebook marked safe from caring about Taylor and Travis's engagement, that's when you're a hater. And for why? Just let them live. It's not like they asked for it. They literally can't help it. They just like exist.
No. They didn't have to announce the engagement. They could have gotten married instead. Just off. They are asking for this.
No, that's not fair. Just because they're famous, they don't get to announce the good things that are happening in their life.
I'm saying they could have gotten around all the publicity if they wanted to.
Can I offer a live stream of me paying my mortgage in person?
I would love to be on a FaceTime of you walking into the bank, paying that They're sliding that check across the desk, taking that sucker, maybe two, and walking out.
Unless they're sugar free. This body's built by Herculean. Okay. That's it. That's it, everyone. Thanks for everything. Stay getting money.
What happens when a basketball superstar changes the course of an entire city? I'm Mickey Shuey, and in Beyond Clarkonomics, we tell the story of how Caitlin Clark's arrival to the Indiana Fever sparked more than just sold-out arenas. It's rewriting Indianapolis's long-term strategy for sports, downtown growth, and women's leadership. Listen at ibjpodcast.com or on your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.